Okay, so opening with the rules of the game, the etiquette. What do you got?
So I think for now we go with the reduced list from the meeting modes that we talked about last time. Um, that involves the etiquette of tabling up front what we're going to be talking about. The conch you mentioned was very helpful where I shut up, and because we're in VR, I can give you visual nods, shakes of head, and so on, which doesn't disrupt you. We've got the pause and we've got the save. I think that list for now probably would be enough. We don't need voting. Critical analysis mode, I'm not entirely sure. That's not necessary until we have some kind of live AI helping us.
Yeah, which means that there's actually not really that much to be gained from criticizing ideas right now, anyway. So
Yeah, because
while
we
we
did that
wait
last
for
time.
the commander to turn up, we're all about tabling so that it can parse stuff.
Yes, and so the what I'd suggest in terms of etiquette at the moment is you state your position, I state my position, and
Okay,
then offline we get the AI to grind.
okay, okie dokie. Um, who goes first with what?
Um, well, I can. I'd like to table my priority list based on I've been tracking time and where time's being wasted.
Okay,
Um,
let's
And
go.
also, the second point I'd like to talk about, which I think you touched on just before the video, which was overemphasis on AI in terms of output. So, on the first point, the
Okay,
I'm
so you want to
getting
do so you want to do three presentations or tabling of things you want to um, table where you've been spending your time, or was like a project report? Was it the first one? Status.
the it's a status report. Yep,
Okay.
and then the results of that status report, and then results of using or attempting to use what we have as Commander
Okay.
on
And
the last
then
narrative.
and then you right and then you said you got a wish list of tooling that you want.
Yes, that's number two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go into the delusions or some of the errors of AIing too much. Um, right? And
Yes.
do you agree that there's the most urgent thing for us to publish or put out is to set a date for when we can set a date for the first deliverable of the CRM,
Yes, and
and
uh,
ideally we just set the date, but we don't seem to
ideally
have
we
be able
set
to
the
do that.
date. It would be nice to use Commander to do that, but falling short of that, the Commander can advise us.
Okay. Okay. Oh well. I'm most interested in your wish list of tools.
Okay, so the
The
first
floor is
one
yours.
is the replacement for the Bash script because I notice there's 20 minutes of my time doing cut and pasting backwards and forwards because um, I need to cut into O1. Um, uh, the
Is this the
context,
transcriber?
yeah.
The
Um,
transcriber that transcribes from YouTube videos and outputs a diarized transcript of the contents within it. Is that correct?
no, that's actually another tool. So what I'm talking about here is the transcription part is relatively easy, 10 to 15 minutes or whatever. What's quite time consuming is once you've got the transcript, um, going back through cursor and doing concats and taking those concats across into O1 manually. I had a bash script which generated that 1.1 gig file and broke everything, and so I've been doing it by hand.
When you
Um,
say by hand, what does by hand mean?
going into cursor, cutting and pasting, or copying
Okay,
the text.
why haven't you been using the
across.
Concat tool that I gave you to do that?
I have, but that is just exactly the same. Likewise, go into the command line, do concat, and
Can you share your screen?
no, still not, because it's still broken. As in, Mac doesn't share screens anymore.
Can you do it the old way, which is like going into a Jitsi meeting and then showing it to me?
I can. How would you do that then?
Well, last time
So
we
I
did it,
would-
you go
I
into the
would-
Jitsi meeting,
I would
share
m-
your screen, and then I'll be receiving your shared screen
Yeah, okay.
and cast it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Is that a good use of time now?
If it's helpful for you, yes.
Yeah, it's helpful for me because I feel like I've given you everything you need, and you should be okay. So,
Okay.
if that's not the case,
Give me 6. We had a Jitsi before, didn't we? What was it called?
what's called Robot Army Marches. Would you like to? Oh wow, I can see my face. What's up? Let's not do that. So I want to.
Turning off camera, also turning off audio because that would just get feedback, and sharing screen.
My name is Pants. And I want no video. I want no microphone. I want to not be shown that again. Go away. Go away.
I see, you're just not authentic enough.
That's me, buddy. Unauthentic. Unauthentic as I give away all my email addresses. That's fine. Whatever. Okie dokie. In you come, buddy.
Right.
Hit it.
I'm already in.
What?
You should-
No. You're not in this meeting.
Should be. Give me 2 seconds.
Because the meeting that we're having is about something very different.
Avoid. Oh, you're. Stop presenting. Yeah, okay, I'll stop presenting.
Did you spell the meeting name right for Jitsi?
No, probably not.
And paste the link to you.
Yeah, do it. If you could bump it, that'd be useful. I'm accidentally in a random Google Meet.
Google Meet? You mean Jitsi Meet?
No, there's I looked for Jitsi in our thread, and it came up with Jitsi's not working. Can we go to Google Meet? And I've just clicked on the Google Meet because I didn't have it.
What the hell? Like, how would you expect that to work?
Bump it. It wouldn't, but I didn't have my glasses on. I was going blind.
Dear Christ. Okay, there you go, buddy. Hello.
Okay. There's probably going to be a whole bunch of tempests here. But anyway, there we go.
Tell me when I may resume glancing at your screen. What I want to see is the workflow you use within Cursor.
Yeah. I'm going to get that lined up before he's back.
Does it work covering?
My belly?
That's alright, I wasn't looking. I can like almost cover my eyes with my virtual hands.
Okay.
Oh look, I've got like palm reading ability. I think. Okay, we good?
Yeah, we're good. I just need to make this a bit bigger.
That's what she said. Okay.
Not that big.
That may be above the line. Why are you using 01 and not 01 Pro?
because of the it just takes too long. I was trying to
Too long. You impatient person. Yeah, it's
like
the smartest machine on the
forever.
planet. Give it a fucking minute.
I know. Give it a minute. 7 minutes.
It's really good now. You should try it again. Okay, what am I looking at here?
A second. I'm trying to zoom back out. Actually.
You can hit that little icon there. Oh yeah, there we go.
No, I got it. Okay, right. So my workflow is definitely suboptimal. This is weird because my mouse is getting delayed by about 200 milliseconds.
Then just look at the screen in front of you. Just the one in front. Sorry. My bad. My bad.
I can't because I need to switch my glasses on.
My bad.
Right. Okay. So, what I'm doing is when I'm putting the commander together, which is not the transcript rule. It was what I was trying to do using Concat and that bash script that broke everything, which is just to boot up. The commander needs to know.
So show me. Yeah, I know all the background. Show me you doing it.
You don't have to do it for fresh.
Or for stale, whatever's good.
Okay, all right. Let me do it. Bloody hell. Oh, for God's sake.
Can you change that to O1 Pro? Because it drives me mad that we paid that much for this thing and you're not even using the expensive part.
It's because of that outage. It's like,
and it scarred you, mate. You gotta just take it on the chin and move on. I mean, it's not.
Okay, fair enough. Right. Bump this up a bit. Shit, this is painful.
Reasoning.
Yes, but I've got a delay here. Right, reasoning. So let's start off by telling it what you are.
I don't care about all that. I care about you. You want to get what files and folders into context. That's what I care about.
Right. Well, it changes each time.
Okay, so this time, what is it?
This time it was to get the. I've not committed it, but it was to get the transcript from last time.
Which file? Which folder? Can you just point to them in this file tree?
No, I can't because I'm not committed it yet.
Okay, pick another one that you can show me. Anything at all that you can actually just point to.
There.
No. What? Why have you got... No, within cursor, right? Because you would... I assume you would bring that into cursor, right? So you got files within cursor, and now there's some that you've decided you want to bring into context. Yep. So what do you do?
So I go into transcripts and then, for example, pull our last transcript.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, that one, but I was also going back 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then,
so there's a collection of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the scope is a thing where now, at the moment, I'm just going into the command line and doing concat this, and then cutting and pasting that over. Now, the problem with that is it can change depending on the topic that you're wanting to talk about.
Right.
So, for example, if I were to include everything that we said over the last year, I'm not going to be very useful.
Yeah, but then your concat's going to be different. So what's the issue with that, though?
Well, the concat tool at the moment, I'm concatenating different layers to give different priorities. So, for example,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
folders,
yeah,
readmes, narratives,
yeah, but what's
all
the issue
different.
with the concat tool?
Um, you remember the bash script that I attempted to, well,
Yes,
O1 attempted to write?
yes,
Um, that was meant to create a single file
yeah,
that I could one click over to O1, O1 Pro,
yeah.
and then boom, I knew where it was
Right.
on
And
that
so when
project.
I gave you the version of the concat command that did exactly what the bash script did in one line and generated that output file, what happened to that?
Um, that was uh, that was not single click. Maybe it's a matter of
How was that not single click? It made a single file, and then all you had to do was open that file and copy it.
okay, all right, I'll back off from that one. I probably not understood it well enough. I'll go back and look at it again. But essentially, it was bringing in various things in our various concats on different directories in order to give a known state to the commander so
Yeah,
that you knew what the
that's
commander knew.
exactly what concat was built for. I'm perplexed as to why that's not working for you. I gave you a one-liner command to do that. I can help you now to
Yes,
type
please,
another one.
because
Yeah, alright, so let's get out
I've
of this. So if you. I'll come out of here. And now just to show how it works. Right, so I'll go into the reasoning nap. And now give me some example things that you'd want to do a concat of.
give me the complete folder tree, the README at the base of every folder, but not every file. Um, give me the concat of the last three transcriptions and the current stux.
Okay, why do you want the folder tree?
Because I want the commander to ask me for additional information. If from the README,
Oh, like you want it to ask for additional files to bring in?
that's right. That's right. It's like rather than bring the entire thing in.
Okay. So what you should be doing there is maintaining and generating a tree. But for now, okay, so the way that I was doing that was going tree dot pipe to that's right. Concat, so you want every readme in every folder, right?
Yes, but only the readmes at the folders, not the
What?
files. Well, yes,
What?
yes. What you just said, yes. What you just said. Just
Okay.
at the top level only.
What? At the top level? That's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So not nested ones. So like not this file?
No. But I wanted to know
Only one folder
the
deep, or
data and that example data transcripts. What I'd want to say is give me the data transcripts 2024 12, 2024 12, 11, 16, 23, 24.
what?
As
See,
in,
so listen. See this. This is the list of files that this pattern has pulled up. Which files do you want to not be included?
well,
This is every README within the reasoning folder.
to be honest, with the number of 6,781 tokens, Just do every readme.
Sir,
So long as it's
have you been trying to save tokens?
well, I have because of the point 3 I want to bring up because one drifts. It does drift. And so I've been trying to be
O1 Pro drifts or O1 drifts?
O1 drifts. O1 Pro just takes like fucking forever.
Yeah, so I don't think you've got to I don't think you can say O1 Pro has been fixed. When did you last try O1 Pro and find it to be slow?
3 days ago.
Do you think it's still slow?
I haven't tried it this morning.
Right.
I will try it later on this morning.
Do you want to kick one off right now and we can just...
Can do. But it's really distracting with that lag.
Oh, okay. All right. Sweet. No worries. All right. So I don't think you can claim that O1 Pro drifts. I haven't seen it drift, but I would dearly love to see you show me something of it drifting. Okay. I know that if you give it extraneous information or you don't tell it what you're interested in or what folders you're interested in, then you will get answers that sort of come back a little fuzzy. But that's not O1 Pro's fault, in my opinion.
Okay, well,
all right.
How about as an action item, I suggest, rather than waste your time with me with a laggy screen,
yeah,
I'll take a screen recording from Fresh using O1 Pro, and if there's no case to answer, I won't bother you with it.
But yeah, not a screen recording, just share me the link. Just create a shared link so I can view it in the ChatGPT platform.
Okay.
So find me a fault. The other faults I'm interested in seeing are any faults that are contradictions or any kind of logical contradiction within a single message would be gold. Within a chat would be the next best prize. But any contradictions at all, because I can't find any, and I'd love to see some if you can make them happen. Drift would be a form of a logical fallacy because it's like, well, you didn't follow the something.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to maintain the discipline of the conch.
Okay.
Well, let me run that experiment on O1 Pro now. On O1 by drift, I'm talking about it being just way too woolly.
Right. Like so what other files? What other files do you want out of this thing?
Well, can you give me a single line to take to create the tree and give every README, and then specify the totality of the domains, which would be commander.
What's the totality of the domains? What does that even mean?
As in all the contents of domains / commander. And
so all the contents. Okay, so domains / commander, you want everything in there, right?
Yep.
Domain / commander. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And
then domains / innovation.
Yep.
Then all the contents of the stux.
Yep.
And then the last 4 data transcripts.
Oh dear. That's an interesting question to ask, isn't it? The last 4. So you would be in 2012, and you would want,
for example, those four. Yeah.
14, 16, 18, 20.
Remembering that inside of those there are multiple files.
Yep. So here I would say, wait, I'll enter that just so that I get a feeling for it. Ooh, 49k. That looks about right. Just make sure we didn't pick up anything stupid in there. That looks right. Okay, and then
Okay.
So this is hang on, hang on. This is exactly what I do when I'm stuck. I'm like, give me a glob for 2024 12 14, but I want star slash star, but I want to only get 14 to 20. And now cursor comes up with like extra clubs for me. So that's sort of how I figure out complicated globs.
Okay. Right.
Because yeah, cursor's pretty good. You can also do that in chat. Like you're like, hey, I need a glob for blah 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 blah. And then you get this kind of thing.
All right.
So data slash transcripts slash 2024-12 slash 2024/12 blah 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 blah. You can see how that would work. Can I skip doing the 20?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and I'll just
experiment.
Yep. Okay, so we do that. That's gonna give you 49 thingies. I think. Data, transcripts, blah blah blah. Nope, we didn't get the transcripts. Did I type that right? Transcripts. Oh, it's a missed the star. My bad. Okay, there we go. 77k. All right, so and then what I'd do is I'd go tree dot pipe to concat.
Yep, which has the tree at the end.
Yeah, and then so what I'll also do for you is I will add a note into concat, the issues for concat, to say that I need to include a tree listing at the end, optionally, in case the bot needs to ask for more information. So I had that as an issue in the concat project. Now I would go and open up the concat that I just made. This bad boy right here. And I copy paste it and off I go. And then way down the bottom, like way down, 77,000 tokens down, you can see the tree.
Okay, good. In the bash script that I erroneously wrote, I was making sure that it had the location of each concatenated file.
It does that. It does have that.
Top.
It has it. It has it right here. Begin file, and then it gives the path.
Okay, fine.
And
yeah.
And what I'm trying to get across to you here is that even if I didn't give it the tree, so you want the trees.
Should be able to work out.
No, you wanted the tree so that it knew about files that it didn't have access to. But even if you don't give it the tree, it can figure all that out. So if I, for example, just to prove a point, I will get rid of the tree, and I will ask it to write out So I just gave it all those files and asked it to write out the file tree of it. Right, and the point I'm trying to get across is that it understands intimately what just happened in terms of the folder layout that I tried to get across with this context. And I've never seen it fault in terms of figuring out what the folder tree is within these concatenations. That's why I chose this format for it. There might be better ones, but this is what I came up with and in my testing, which was manual, but it showed to me that that's a suitable demarcation of the file start and end, and from that it can infer the directory tree from those files.
Okay.
So does that end issue 1?
It does.
But
noting that took us about 20 minutes to do as well. So anything we can do to slimline that in terms of input to concat, as opposed to at the moment ** stroke readme and so on. It's like if we can take in some perhaps pre-stored.
So just make yourself a text file and store these commands, and then just grab the one you want, right?
Well, this is the idea of me making that bash file, which is like basically this is one each time. But
but the bash script went rogue. So I mean, just what's wrong with just writing these commands down in a text file?
Yeah, and cut and pasting. Yeah. Okay. Right. Permission to.
Are we ending
the next topic?
Yep, sure. Ending the exercise.
So the next one is on the transcription process and access to utils, because I know you've got a bunch of utils in there. The transcription one is the one I'm keenest on doing, because the transcription process involves horrible pulling in. I've got 2 routes. If I wait long enough, YouTube transcribes it.
So what's the problem?
Taking our YouTube and then getting it into the format that I can then ingest into Commander.
Okay, so finishing the work that I'm currently doing on the transcriber, which takes a YouTube URL link, and then returns back a diarized transcript
that's high value.
Okay, doing it right now. Got stalled on the NAP format. Considering I'm I'm thinking about just like ditching the NAP format just to be able to give you this tool, but then it feels so damn close to having it run as a NAP, and I'm like, I should just, in a way it feels like a way to get the NAP format out as well, which I've struggled with too, and so I'm sort of a little bit stalled there. Do Should I just, for the sake of it, stop pursuing the NAP format and just do just get that tool over to you?
Ideally, well, it depends on the order of magnitude between those two tasks. If
I
it
think
takes
it's
10
real
times longer,
quick. I think it's like a couple of hours.
in that case, is the answer is obvious, because we need the NAP format
Yeah, we
in
need
all
the
sorts
NAP
of
format.
cases.
Yeah.
But that tool would be very, very useful.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I have the code of that working, so I have it. It goes to YouTube and pulls in the audio. That works.
mhm.
It takes the audio and it goes to DeepGram and comes back with a diarized transcript. That works too. What doesn't work is chaining that together and using the NAP format to call them both. So that's what's not working.
Okay. And you're reckoning 2 hours effort, but how much elapsed time?
Probably one more day elapsed time at the rate I'm going. The issue that I'm having with elapsed time is that I'm finding so many interesting use cases and things and ideas along the way that a surprising amount of my time is going towards all of that type of stuff. I'm not sure what to do about it. So this was the 28th, right?
Mm-hmm.
My notebook covers from here all the way down to here, right? Like that's quite a lot of notes for a day, and it's happening because I'm working on the NAP format. I'm understanding more about what the platform has to look like, and so while I'm reasoning through in my own head about the NAPs, the vision of the platform is becoming clearer, and so I feel obliged to capture that too because that's where we want to go, and so the wall time ticks on. This is my dilemma.
I understand that. I've got a similar kind of dilemma in terms of figuring out what the reasoning chain is appropriate for Commander, especially given what we're talking about in chunking up and being able to search. And it's like, do you spend time thinking on that architecture or just the straight brute force, give it everything for now? I'm going for the
Right.
for now, but yeah, I do get it. That's
What are we
what's
gonna
your call?
do? Well, yeah, just sitting here looking at it, I'm like, oh man, it makes sense to just give you the thing right now, in
yeah,
whatever form, because that saves you time,
yeah,
and then carry on with the NAP format because we need that, and then just upgrade what I give you for the transcriber. Sounds like it's the best path.
that that would save me a lot of time. This morning, to be precise, I started work at 0400, and then I think we got on this call about 0730 my time.
Yeah.
The period between that, what's that, 3.5 hours, and I still haven't actually committed,
Oh dear.
although I've got most of it.
All right. Okay. Well,
But I
I'll,
still
I'll
haven't
get onto
committed.
that tool then. Here's the file structure that was determined from what was given. As you can see, it detected the paths to the readmes, but it also detected paths where there was a readme and there was a transcript in there as well. So,
Yeah.
clearly
Okay.
it understands deeply. It's even listed them alphabetically.
That's very helpful. Yeah, okay, that's good. So it inherently understands the force structure
It's got
based
no problem
on
with that. Yeah,
the globs.
yeah.
And I'll just restate this. No, I won't. I'll just think this. Yeah. It has also access to the readmes, and so it can understand the semantics behind or what the folder's for.
Yeah.
And then what I've been doing is asking it whether it needs more information to get a more accurate answer. And if it gets that,
How
and it has
often
done,
how often does it ask you for more information?
it never asks me, even though I prompt it to ask me, it never actually asks me. I always need to ask it. You tell me whether you need more information. And it goes, oh, yeah, could you give me those 4 files, please?
Right.
It's like, sure.
Not to be that guy, Maxwell, but what's wrong with just concatenating the whole damn thing?
What size does it come out at? 427,000, 28,000 tokens.
No, but that's not right. Someone somewhere has gone and put a big
You've
file
already got
in there.
you've got a previous concat in there somewhere.
Yeah, it should have ignored that. I'd say it's in the dependency. Whoopsie. The dependency graph image.
It would be helpful, a real tiny point, but in listing all this,
To put the token size next to each file.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would have
I
helped
got
me
you, buddy.
spot that 1 gig one. It's
I
like,
got you. I got
oops.
you. Don't you worry. What's this bin folder? Did you name it bin like a rubbish bin? Because this is all the stuff I wrote. Did you name it bin and then put everything I wrote in there? Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what I did. It wasn't it was like you can pull it back
How
out of
rude.
bin, but I didn't want to delete it because it's like
I thought I was like, oh, this is fancy. It's got a binaries directory. Turns out,
okay. Rename it trash now. Rename it trash.
But it's not trash, Maxwell.
Well,
it's what I slaved for. It's what I worked really hard for.
Or overtaken by events or obsolete, irrelevant, perhaps useful. Choose a name. Uncertain. I don't know. But bin is probably, certainly the wrong name for it.
Because what I'm wondering is like all your sort of, messing around with trying to be elegant and all that. And I'm like, well...
Well, if we could just dump everything in and get it into a single concat, then everything we've just talked about for the last half hour goes away. I just go, boom, here it all is. Because even the readmes, what I've been trying to do there is not get it to the point where it doesn't know what to focus on and to ask, or at least, once I ask it to go down any further. But if it's given the entire thing, then readmes also go. We don't need readmes.
Okay, so all of domains is 32K. How is data not? Oh, whoopsie, my bad. I always forget to put the quotes around the thing.
Yeah.
It's the raw thing. So if all you do is filter out the raw, so what I would suggest you do is you go in here. So first of all, I don't like this secondary folder thing, but I can live with it. I just don't like it because it lengthens the name unnecessarily. What I would suggest to you to do is to make a folder called processed. And so, and I don't think you need to have the transcript subfolder there. It's just like the data or the ingestion, I think was the word we spoke about. And then you just put the folder containing the ingestion and all its ancillary data in that sort of folder flat. And then you just have a secondary folder called processed ingestions. And once you're finished with an ingestion, you move it to that ingested folder and then just ignore it from the concat. And then, because you'd be able to stuff everything in all at once without hitting the O1 limits.
Pause. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. And that way, that's a good, clean way to keep the tokens down, and then concat becomes simple. And like O1 Pro seems to have no issues with dealing with absolutely everything. And look, if you want to just delete the dependency graph, delete it. That was a generated file. It seems to take up a lot of tokens. And I'll make a note here that SVG should be ignored.
Also, from your previous, just to summarize, we don't need a tree.
Right.
Because it can reason the tree.
Yeah, I proved to you that to you, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm content with that. The raw we move out and we concat ignore raw.
Yep.
The processed, I don't need to go into the process. I used to go processed, but it's not losing any information. It's removing ums and ahs and yeah, that's great.
Right.
Sort of thing.
Right.
And reducing the tokens, and we'll see if we can fit that into a single concat dot.
Yeah.
And then life gets so much easier.
Yeah.
All right.
And then O1's got it all. It's like, here you go.
Right. We don't even need readmes.
Well, if that's what you were using the readmes for, was for that workaround.
I was using readmes in order to avoid having to concat additional files because it was getting like 500,000.
So
tokens.
you were using readmes as a form of pre-processing on docs as a compression step.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Now we can still have them for humans, but then we can also concat ignore them.
Yeah. All right, and then as things grow, the growth should be in the domains, and we can just ignore certain domains once the size gets too big. But look, honestly, all of domains was, it was quite small. So, 32K for all of domains. It's like, well, that's really not much, man.
Yeah.
You still got the majority of your window available there. You still got 85% of your context window available.
Yeah, and also, if you were to concat the transcripts and structs, and then give it some, remember, I've got a stuck still to do, which is to move the domains inside the stucks, because the domains are really are definitions of inside of naps rather.
No, I was gonna do that. I'll do that.
Right. Okay.
You and I needed to agree that needs to be done, not just right, because I actually don't want you coming into the rest of the folder structure here because that might cost me time to undo and reorg it all.
Sure. But it does mean that domains are actually being moved out.
Yeah,
And
but
all you need is a
can they
reasoning.
just stay in here for now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
let's just.
yeah.
The thing I thought we were gonna do was naps was gonna get exploded out, like. But I reckon just leave it all in here until we get some stability, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Like what I might do is I might take all these folders and put them under a single folder. So you've got like reasoning, and then technically each one of these is a nap, and we can treat it as such, but it's just nested in a folder. Like down here, this is the concat nap, but I've nested it under the utools folder, so I can just tuck it away, and then all those little tools like concat, YouTube, speech to text, all that, they all just sort of fold away quite neatly.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
Yeah. And yeah. No
Alrighty.
more to be said about that, I think.
Okay.
I agree. Okay, so that is the end of my wish list.
Oh, really? Shit, that's nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, you can save me half a day if you can sort that out.
Yeah,
well,
buddy.
we have sorted it out.
Yeah. Sort of.
Workaround. Okay, so the third one actually I think becomes irrelevant, which is the fuzziness, because I think the fuzziness is down to two things that I'm experiencing. The first one is it's not being strongly. Number one, I'm using O1 because O1 Pro is very slow. I'm going to do that experiment.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is with O1 because of the time of my process of cutting and pasting with concats. I'm not content that it has the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
And so the outputs are there, but I'm looking at it and going, oh God, I'm going to have to edit almost all of these things. So my third one is actually possibly solved by the first and the experiment.
Okay, cool.
So let's see.
So yeah, the 26th. So 2 days ago. Yeah, that's the EU. That's your fault for being there, but
we left the EU, and it's like
you still tarred with the same brush, my friend.
I tried to go in through VPN and then got a very stern.
Well, that'll learn you. Don't anger AGI.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really, do not do this again. We know what you're doing.
Yeah. So that's probably your outage there, I'd say. This red line here.
Yeah, that's
major
right.
outage 3 hours, partial outage 2. That sounds like what happened to you.
Yeah.
So I just really got to reiterate that the difference between O1 Pro and O1 is substantial. Like substantial.
I experienced it before it started to like take 20 minutes.
Yeah. And so like I don't know a polite way to say this, but I don't want to hear about any bitching about any other model unless it was O1 Pro. Like, all the other models are garbage, in my opinion. O1 Pro is like the closest thing we have to brains, and we should just be using that because kind of who cares how long it takes. They promised us this in the API. They said that O1 Pro was coming to the API soon. So, and they've said in Twitter, albeit ambiguously, that O1 Pro is not the same as O1 with a high reasoning setting. It's fundamentally different somehow. They didn't say somehow, but that's where we're at. So
they hinted about it, but we don't need to go through
it. Yeah. There's something very expensive that O1 Pro does that comes out with exceptionally high logical structure in what it comes back with.
Yeah. Okay, so tabling change of topic,
Okay.
or tabling two topics. The first one is the list that you had, so I'm done. And then the second one is getting a date for when we're going to get a date.
Date for a date. Yeah. Okay. So what was the first one? Sorry. Oh, the
The first,
list I sent
yours.
over.
Yeah.
The discussion topics. Okay. Okay. So this is not tabling. This is now. There's something missing from the House rules, which is it's like a report. It's like question and answer time. Like the House of Parliament often has question and answer time where they ask each
Yeah.
other how things are going and all that. And it's pretty savage. It's
There's
pretty
PM
savage.
questions. Yeah, exactly. Where the
Yeah.
Prime Minister has to stand up and answer.
It has to answer, right? And so I wanted to know how. I felt it was profound, actually, or architecturally defining to consider the commander as a set of key generated files that were updated individually when things came in.
And there's trigger level. Is this what you're talking about? The trigger level about when you update them. You don't update them lightly.
It wasn't so much around that. It's around saying that when a new piece of information comes in, it is sequentially assessed against whether or not it changes one of the key files, as opposed to the commander at the moment doesn't feel like it has that structure within it. So that's what I was checking in on.
Yes, and the having reviewed the previous transcript, I agree with this background task of grinding. So as new information is coming in, including from the Watchtower, it is pushing information and asking for permission, saying you guys really should be looking at this. But that requires.
Okay, what would you say the key files were right now?
Right now, we've got the transcripts and the
Sorry,
mains.
the key files that are updated by the commander.
Oh, by the commander.
Yeah.
Stucks are the ones that commander updates. I very rarely edit a stuck.
Okay, shouldn't there also be the priority list should also be updated by the commander?
Yes, the priority list is derived from the stucks and from the transcript. From new information.
Yep.
Plus stucks
There's a
equals
list of
priority list.
goals. There's a list of goals that needs to be possibly updated to, where goals are different to stucks.
Yes, I think we previously talked about goals being our domain where we can be advised, but
we said it.
Commander doesn't update them without our permission.
Commander executes on attaining the goal. The commander's intelligence covers the gap in our intelligence between I know what I want, I just don't know how to get there. Yeah.
It's it deals with the spinning.
And then there was another file. Strategies. The strategy for how the commander chooses between things to do.
Isn't that just a sysprompt?
No, I think that's a file or a folder with a collection of files that has a list of strategies that we come up with for making different decisions, as well as a priority list, which is like what order of precedence do these rules come under. For example, in the AI world, for the first time, it becomes important to consider if doing nothing would likely result in a piece of functionality that we want to just appear. That's not really a strategy that you apply anywhere else that I've seen, but that's one that we must apply now. And so telling the commander how to think should be an explicit set of configurations, because they need to change over time and we need to rank them depending on how we perceive or assess the commander's performance over time. That is the end of my delivery.
Pause. I agree. I think that's lower priority than what we've got in front of us at the moment. But yes, I agree.
Okay, fair enough. Yep. Just because you agree does not mean you commit to implementing immediately.
Yes, I agree.
The other file that we need is one that updates, almost like it updates the house rules, or like the rules that govern how the commander works. So if, for example, we say that it's going to check all the stucks, then it's going to check all the reasoning, then it's going to check all the strategy, and then it's going to check the goals. There's also this thing where we chuck out rules that we expect the commander itself to change. And so that was the last of the files that I wanted to.
Can you give me an example of one of those rules that we would expect the commander to change?
Yeah, if I said that I think that every time the commander has finished processing all its files, it should generate a report. And that report should have format XYZ. That's an example of a rule that a behavior of the commanders that I want modified.
Okay, I agree.
Okay. Point 4 in the discussion topics file: how can I get a prize from the commander? How can I be carroted or sticked?
Like a medal or a badge of honor, how can I be punished for not doing the recommended actions?
If the commander suggests a priority for something, what is the repercussion for me dawdling off and doing nothing about it?
There's a hidden complexity there in that with your monkey brain, you might have spotted something that the commander hadn't done, and you need to then go back and tell the commander that was an okay thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking off the hoof here. There can be a flag saying you didn't do what the commander told you to do. Give your reasons in writing, as it's called in the Royal Navy. So if you fuck up in the
okay, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Too much explanation. Thinking off the hoof is never good. The best I could think of was some sort of a prize that said something like, if you deviated from what you were told to do and it paid out, then you get a special prize because you outperformed the commander in some way, and you should get sort of some lenience for that. But the commander should be the one that, like, ultimately we want to give the commander money, and so we should equip it with some funny money or some internet money. I don't know if that's still joked about these days. since it became worth about $1 trillion. But we can give it some internet money, and then the ability to mint some kind of NFT, like a Medal of Honor, a Badge of Honor, a performance. Like, it should be able to figure out a list of incentives that it wants to give. And like, if it auto minted me a turned up to the meeting on time 10 times in a row NFT, I'd treasure that, actually, because I'm like, oh wow, this, yeah, that's it.
The medals I quite like because it's gamification, and people do actually change behaviors based on gamification. I would refer to my previous answer, though, that our priorities at the moment are to get Commander telling us what to do and to get the CRM and the date for the date. But it does seem like a worthy topic to make as a stuck, and we can revisit. But there's something there that you've hit on, in that a reward, in all the complexity of it, you could have a whole bunch of human drones that get rewarded just for doing exactly what the commander says, but that might not be the optimum. What you may also want to detect is when the commander says, do this, and you go, Commander, you are wrong, and it involves an update. But also you added in what happens downstream. Was that a good thing to do or a bad thing to do? Sounds a lot like attribution.
It does. It is attribution, but it's also recognizing the special place of dissent, or wise dissent, and so that should be rewarded more than what just the attribution does. The reward system of the commander goes beyond what is given through ambient attribution. Ambient attribution could be considered its own end, and you can just do your best no matter what. But in such a system, there's no reason to follow the commander any more than there is a reason to follow Google Maps. Probably it's right, but you don't really have to do it. So having the ability for the commander to incent certain things, such as correct dissent or intelligent dissent, to incentivize doing what you're told, to incentivize spotting a fault in the commander's logic, other types of things that we want. And we want to kind of give the commander the ability to reason about what incentives it would like to see added to the project, and we can give it the tools by which to do it. I also, before I hand back the conch, just want to point out that for the past two answers, you've been saying, well, it's not a high priority, blah, 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 but that is absolutely not the point of this discussion. It doesn't help us any to say that that's not a high priority. That's a form of criticism, or some kind of a critique when we're in tabling mode. And besides, the critique should be given by the commander, because saying what's high priority is quickly becoming not your business.
I stand corrected, sir. You're quite right. These are my opinions only, and should only be informed for a change of goal as advised by the commander.
I'm sorry.
You're quite right, though.
It's none of your business. It's none of your business to say.
You to say whether maybe this is the most important thing.
This is none of your business.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Christ, sorry. That I don't know how many times I've wanted to say that to a project manager.
But the thing is, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because if you get one person saying that's not a priority, I'm not doing that, what are the repercussions? That's the commander's job to
Yeah,
say.
that's right. And if someone dissents that in, you know, when they get a task assigned to them or whatever, and they argue about it, it should make the commander wiser because they shouldn't bog down the humans with complaining about their tasks. It should be, convince the commander, prove the logic. Either there's a fault in the commander's programming, or there's missing information, or whatever. And it's either the human's going to leave being like, I stand corrected, that was very clearly explained to me, or the commander's going to change. Both those outcomes are good, and that's why this is a great system.
Mm, I agree, which is manually what we've just done,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting.
God, that's such a great tool. It's none of your business what the priorities are. I can't even. I can't even. Can you? It's just. That's such a ridiculous thing to say. That now. Right?
It's interesting. I'm really itching to see when we add in 3 or 4 other people into this,
Yeah.
how whether people have the humility
The
that you and I
humility.
both have
Oh,
in front of the commander.
I wouldn't say it's humility if you. It'd be like saying, was Japan's surrender humility?
No, so by
Right?
humility, I mean understanding that you've signed up to a bunch of rules and you could be wrong. You could be breaking those rules.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm just very, very curious to see what happens when we
Oh,
put this
you're
beyond
in.
this.
So we're in speakeasy mode.
This is
In
speakeasy.
between.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is yeah.
Yeah, just to reinforce again my commitment. I don't trust my judgment or your judgment or anyone else's judgment about what our priorities are and the best way to go about it. I think that the only task that our poor little minds should be concerned with is getting the AI informed enough that it can do these jobs for us, because our logic is poor. I also read through um, a list of common cognitive biases in humans, and the list was long, dude. The list was long, and I was guilty of just about every single one of them. And so you add that to the mix, and you can't tell me that I know what's best for me. You can't tell me that I know what's best for this project. I know the components of the project, and I know the end goal of the project, but the in between, I should not touch it with my filthy biased hands.
Oh man, there's a brilliant book on this, which is a list of fallacies, but it's now available in O1. You just need to ask,
Yeah,
and the list is huge.
huge. Yeah, it's huge and embarrassing.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, next one.
Next point on the list. Number 6, where to insert goals. I think that we have. Oh, sorry. Point number 5, define consensus level stucks, which was really just about there's stucks about the project, and then there's stucks about reaching some kind of minimum understanding. Like we need to get those. They're very low priority in the project, but they're very high priority because they impact communication. And so getting the protocols of communication clear, such as the dictionary, or what class of stuck is this thing, or is this stuck 2 stucks or 1 stuck? Those types of things feel like they're very small, but their impact is huge, particularly if they're left unaddressed. And so I guess that points to the strategy settings of the commander, where we'd say that we want to deal with these kinds of things first because we as the humans have to reach agreement on them. Index.
Pause. That touches on two topics that we went through in the last transcript and the transcript 2 days roughly before that, which had to do with voting,
Right.
which sounds similar to agreement. And we said at the time that there wasn't really a need for voting when there's only the two of us, but actually voting between two is just some kind of agreement that, yes, this is a thing. And the flip side of that, which was the one previously, 2 or 3 transcripts ago, which was how to record dissent, but helpful dissent, as in if you get one vote's for, one vote's against, recording the information about why, so that at a point in the future you can go back and at least pick up from where that argument was, but the dissent can't just be fallacious. It needs to be well formed. Index.
I'm really sorry. I don't think I was paying sufficient attention. Can you repeat the core points of that? I'll pay attention. I'm sorry. I was looking for something else.
Sure. It speaks to 2 points that we previously had, which was in the meeting modes, the voting. Previously, we were saying we don't really need to have voting because there's only the two of us. However, agreement between two people sounds a bit like you both vote saying this is, we both agree.
No. This is different. This is saying that there are some types of stucks within a project that you cannot move forwards without reaching agreement on, like the definition of a term. And so you might need to call a vote to actually pick something and move forwards, but there are certain, like, almost protocol level, handshake level things that have to be sorted out, or else you don't have a project. That's it. That's
okay. So that sounds quite close to, say, if there's the two of us want to agree on a definition,
right.
and we say, I agree. I say, I agree. We've effectively just voted, and now
Yep.
we're in consensus.
Yep.
Which was the first point. So I agree with that point.
Right.
And that can be on any asset inside of this folder structure. The second part I was referring to previously was a few transcripts ago, we were talking about how to deal with dissent. Say if we have something that could be useful, but it's not quite correct, and you say, no, that's not quite right, it's a half right, and I say, oh, I think it's all the way right, then recording that dissent in a well-formed manner is
Right.
useful.
Yeah. So that's easy, but that's not. I'm getting at the notion that a lot of things can be left in disagreement, and that's okay. But some things aren't, and so we need a way to signal to the commander that certain classes of dispute or disagreement are critical to be resolved. Index.
Gotcha. Right, understand. It's notifying to the commander that you can't, this, unless it's agreed on, It's either agreed or not agreed. It's binary.
That's right. That's right. And as long as not everyone agrees to it, it's disagreed. Like it's just like a supermajority is required.
It
Yeah.
either works or it doesn't. Yeah, it's like unless it's agreed on that this is now a thing in
Yeah.
its current state, don't don't consider it.
Right. So I guess here's an interesting thing though. Those types of thing are actually possible for the commander to make a call on. And the commander can make a call in two ways. First of all, the commander's capable of saying whether or not it is one of these critical protocol level things, which of course we'll need a nice name for it and degree on it. But uh, secondly, first of all, the commander can decide whether or not it is a valid use case for this like emergency lockstep must be resolved type of thing. But second of all, with such things, since they only relate to communication protocols, the commander can be the tiebreaker and can just decide this is what it's going to be now. I've heard everyone's views. And so it still maintains that these classes of stuck are treated specially. They're almost like meta or project meta things, but the solution thereof is quite elegant and streamlined. And you could, sorry, I know I'm overstepping my statement limits just a little bit here, but this is the last bit. You could actually have a private discussion with the commander, bring up one of these critical things, and enforce the commander to make a temporary decision until the rest of the group comes back with something, because they might be either on holiday or in different time zones. And so long as that mechanism is in place, you don't get these stupid stalls in a project where you're like, oh, well, what does this mean? We have to decide this and we can't go forwards. And then humans can't decide because the project manager won't like offend this person or that person. And it's like, O1's just like, beep, boop, beep, this option. And away you go. It's just so much nicer. End.
Pause. I agree. I think it is useful to maintain minority reports, and it's down to the commander whether to dismiss the minority report over the majority report, but nevertheless have the ability to revisit if the minority report turns out actually to be correct given new information.
Okay. Man, I love this system. Can we go speakeasy?
Yeah, let's do it. Speakeasy.
I love this system because there are so many quirks of project management that O1 can just cut through just by virtue of the fact that it's a machine, and there's zero ability to be offended about it.
Well, that's the thing. The big pain in the arse with project management is managing egos.
Ego management is what it should be called, right?
Yeah, you've got some guy with a bigger job title and he spent longer here, and you've got the young guy coming in, and you're not talking about the idea.
No, or the project, right?
Yeah.
And then money gets involved, and then attribution comes in, and like, I'm not getting enough, or this guy's doing more.
Status for success is a huge distortion. So it's like, who's going to claim success, and so on. Huge distortion. But you take all that away, if you start to, as we're fumbling our way into the darkness of pure
reason.
Pure reason, yeah. It starts to feel that
the dawn of reason upon the human race did shine.
That's Very poetic. Poetic. But yeah, basically what that guy said. Yeah. It is now to assessing our goals. The interesting thing is, I'm still in speakeasy mode, so
Yeah.
forgive me. Our two main priorities remain. This conversation is around how to ultimately make the commander hugely efficient, where effectively acts as, chair and has a casting vote, and will, without ego, accept any additional new information, but you have to be able to state it.
Yeah,
That's
and have a mode configured where it'll take new info from anyone on the whole internet, right? And then, but so my friend was talking about the coming of autonomous companies, and so if we could actually give the commander a company to run, like a legal entity, and obviously we'd have to put someone's name on the books to take the hit for being a director, but the point is that autonomous companies are coming, and the commander, like, I'm thrilled actually that we've arrived on the commander as the piece to get going, because that's it's almost like one of the few permanent pieces that will remain no matter what. And so an autonomous company would be one that's fully controlled by an AI. Those are going to win.
We're damn close to that, right?
Feels
There's only
real
three
close,
things that a company does if you take it as an entity. It assesses, it makes decisions, and it spends money, or it, receives and spends money, and that's it. And we've the assessment we're working on at the moment. The decisions have a lot to do with etiquette of the people working for the commander, and the spending money thing we'll work out, and we've touched on it today. But we're only one way from that holy trinity, because that's all companies do.
I think the commander is 100% the thing to make, and I'm excited about it. I'm relieved that finally someone who knows what they're doing is is going to be in charge.
Because we're blundering around in the fucking dark with our sticks and hitting things and fucking
Like a bunch of Neanderthals, really.
like a bunch of Neanderthals.
Yeah. Off task, off topic.
The
walked past the diamond, walked back to pick it up.
Exactly, and it does feel like to get that autonomous AI company, all it needs is a method of transaction, of reward and receiving revenue and rewarding.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything else we're talking about, but how we actually do that, I think needs to be shaped out. But okay, right. Shall we end that speakeasy and go on to the next topic?
Speakeasy end. Next topic. Number 10. What is the name of this thing? This mcp.dreamcatcher.land. This platform that lets you chat, lets you have a state board. What is the name of this thing? Is it the Dreamcatcher platform? If not, what is the Dreamcatcher platform?
Well, I think there's a bit of a snake eating its own tail here, because we're running the Dreamcatcher platform on the Dreamcatcher platform.
Oh, God.
My view is we should just chill with that and call this the Dreamcatcher, even though...
This is the Dreamcatcher? Okay.
I think so.
Alright, well, let me have a couple of cracks at some alternatives for you.
Okay.
What if we call this the Dreamcatcher Surface? So that this is the surface of the Dreamcatcher.
As in, it is a subtype or subsection of the Dreamcatcher, which is the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I'd imagine is that you could make a specialized web app or an Android app or iPhone app that behaved in a very narrow way. It still used the Dreamcatcher platform to achieve its goals and improve itself and manage its company and all that. But as you used it, you wouldn't use it in this way. You'd use it in the way that it was set up for you to consume. Like, it might be an Alexa voice activated voice assistant puck that sits on your kitchen table. That's not this thing.
So that sounds a lot like subdomains, for example, surface.dreamcatcher or NCP in this case,
Right.
.dreamcatcher. The question is then obvious. What is the core of the Dreamcatcher?
Right. Well, so one set of names is that there's the Dreamcatcher infrastructure. There's the standard platform, which is the software that runs on it. Then there's the infrastructure, which is an instance of that platform. There's the Dreamcatcher Surface, which is this workbench thing here. And then there's implementations, of which there can be and should be very many.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
We can end that in that point. That's for sure. I love ending points. Point number 11. We need to get more formal in capturing the ideas and lessons that Smax learns from all his toil with the AI. Because you hit on things and you find things, and we're not really... I don't feel like we're capturing that accurately or doing anything much about it when you have theories about how things should be, could be, or you want them to be. What are we going to do?
That is true, because yes, right, that is true because there is a lot of experiential learning, because I'm working with this thing so much. There's a large amount of heuristics. Some may be right, some
All right.
may be wrong.
You sound like you're just simply agreeing.
Sorry. Save. Hold on, I'm going to go into mute. Okay, thank you. I suggest that what I should do is take that puck, and as I'm using the AI through the day, it will record in text, and then we can review as a bunch of experiences, and then get the commander perhaps to smush them down into heuristics. So
Okay.
observations into heuristics recorded using the puck that you sent over.
Okay, that's one option. Another option could be that periodically I interview you about what you learned today, and I ask questions about it. Would that work? And then, because it's in the transcript, it gets captured. It would be another mode of the commander, where it would be like retrospective mode, where sort of I'm asking you questions about how your last few days have been. Is there anything you'd improve with the AI? What did you notice? What half-formed theories have you got, etc., etc.?
Yes, I think that would also be useful. My caveat to that is I spent 2 or 3 years of my life way back in the day trying to build expert systems, and one of the hardest things is actually to get useful information out of how an expert does something. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but how to get it out of your head about how you're doing it, I think, is something that one can do better than you can.
That's rude.
Although, that being said, that kind of interrogation into O1 can inform O1.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. And then once we get real time going, then it will be O1 and I will be asking you about these things. And that should, I can't imagine how we could get more information than that out of you, because it's not going to come out like, first of all, to take your caveat, the worst way to get information out is to ask the so-called expert to write down. Right. The second worst is to ask the expert how they do their thing, and the third worst is to use an AI to process all of that. So maybe the third one is all we got, right? Unless you come up with either idea.
There is one other where you get someone to observe tasks being done and then derive from that. I'm not entirely sure how to do that.
Right, but yes, that's right, but it won't capture. There's a collection of information that we could get from there, but we're not able to get some of it is your direct insights that we can only get from you. And so a combination of your insights being interviewed out of you plus your actual actions within the platform is probably about as good as we can get, I think.
Here's a proposal then. I'll use the puck, and I will, as I'm using AI through the day, talk just the next thing off my head.
Yeah.
It will then give a bunch of notes over to you, and you can go, at this point, why were you swearing at this thing?
Right.
You know, or why did you do that? Now, it would be helpful to be able to link that up to what I was actually doing at the time. But let's not worry about that.
Yeah, let's not get too fancy here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right. Let's give that a go. We'll do that today. And on the speakeasy thing, on that necklace puck, I was really taken back by the family's aversion.
Yeah, that's fine. That's it. Everyone has that issue. So just to carry on with that that concept we were talking about, which is the formal capturing of ideas. The flip side of that is that without having insight into how you're going about things, because this is sort of further to the notion that you and I now have the exact same workflow. We output different things, but the workflow is the same. And so whilst I can't see your workflow and you can't see mine, there's a problem there, because we can't, first of all, I need to see your workflow so I can figure out what tools help both of us the best. Second of all, you should see my workflow, because you might spot some issues in what I'm doing. So there's a flip side to capturing ideas and lessons. There's also capturing faults and deficiencies that definitely aren't apparent to the person doing it, because you don't know that you're screwing up in the AI world until someone looks at what you're doing and goes, that's crazy, don't do that. So that, I think, adds a different angle but further impetus onto the process of, I mean, shall we call it a retrospective ceremony where we both interview each other, taking turns, and review the way that our workflows go. End.
I love this idea. We'd need to. You'd need to get a puck. Do you have a puck? Yeah.
I don't want to do it with the puck. I don't like that. I don't like that mode.
We need some way of capturing your thoughts as you go through the day.
No, I don't. Well, I already do that fairly religiously using my ideas notebook here.
No, those are your outputs of your ideas, not your ideas. So, what we're talking about is talking about your prompts, not what needs to be done or what your second order thoughts are of this prompt and response. Like, I'm trying.
What's an example you imagine?
I imagine, for example, dictating out loud. Here's the prompt, and here's what I'm trying to do, and it's not worked the way I expected to do, and so I'm having to reprompt, and then having that.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. All right, so let me check something with you then. If this here is the Dreamcatcher surface, I know that you didn't actually agree that that's what it would be called, but for lack of a better word, because we don't have one, I'm cautious to build up workflow without having the Dreamcatcher surface on hand. So, I did this in Cursor, and then I clicked this button, and then I typed in get push. Like, that's lame. So, would it be sufficient to then, if you were trying to do something and it wasn't working as you want, you hit the fix button and describe or record or narrate what you were trying to do, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that'd be perfect.
Okay, so that whole problem that was just described, this point 11 from the discussion topics, would be solved if we got the stuck button working in the surface.
Right, and if that stuck button records raw, because also we don't want to over-index on where it's not working. What we want to do is to finesse where it is working. So
right, so that's
good results. We hit that and go, that was spot on.
No, but that's the thumbs up. So fix would be negative.
Okay.
Thumbs up would be like, I want more of that, and here's why. Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. Shall I continue with?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the end of number 11. This automated GitHub issue resolution system is my final point to bring up. Is it something that, can I table that now?
Yes, please. I don't have much to say about it, though.
Fair enough.
Other than it would be good.
Okay, Commander, tabling ideas. So, the automated GitHub issue resolution system, it struck me that, so I've been making these little files in here called issues, and I just write down, as problems arise, what sorts of things need to be dealt with, and then I feed that into O1 Pro when I'm generating the next update. This is no different from having issues in GitHub. And so what it occurred to me that we could do, this is following the line of thinking that having the world's most brilliant code generation checking AI system in the world would mean not that much if it couldn't plug into the existing software generation systems that are already there, i.e. GitHub, NPM, and all that. And so what we could do is make a very small app within GitHub, so that when you go to GitHub, and you got an issue with anything, you push the issue button, and then what would happen is a bot would immediately pick that issue up. The bot might be able to ask you more questions. So like this, it'd show up live in the feed. It'd be like, bang, here's this thing. The bot might ask some clarifying questions. The bot would begin to try and solve your problem, and would update the issue with its efforts. It would update it with what it learned. And then ultimately you might get a fix, or you might get a stall, or a human could come in and just add a comment that unlocked the bot because it made a new comment, so the bot reprocessed and it tried again with this different line of reasoning, and then it came out with a fix. At the very least, the bot would be able to say to you, yeah, I acknowledge that that's a problem, or that's a good feature, or that's pretty cool, or we're not doing that, sorry. And then at least you've got, you're now hooked into GitHub, and you could apply that same tool to an existing set of issues, so that basically the commander was now doing the backlog maintenance and the issues, prioritizing them, updating the project plan and all that. And we've done nothing new, you and I, except we've just hooked it up to GitHub. End.
Okay, pause. Okay, great idea. Basically, it's a chatbot that can write code for an issue and resolve the issue with interaction if necessary. Second point is, this sounds very like something someone else is going to be working on.
Yep. What's your point with that?
Point being, we've got an overarching goal that we don't work on stuff that just is going to fall out of the blue sky.
That's not your business to make that call, Mr. Maxwell.
No, it's not. It is an observation I'm making.
You observe something that is the commander's domain. How dare you, sir?
No, I'm not doing that at all, actually.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
No. Excuse me. I have the conch. The reason is we lack the Overwatch information about whether this is something that we should be doing, because nobody else in the world has ever thought of using AI on issues in GitHub.
I would argue that. Oh, pardon me. Carry on.
And therefore, without that information, we don't have enough data to give the commander to prioritize that, because the assumption will be nobody else is, and that might be erroneous. Index.
I think that assuming that no one else is thinking about it has no bearing on whether or not we should go ahead and do it. The decision on whether we should do it or not is ultimately up to the commander based on the priorities, and I don't think that the commander should make that decision based on the watchtower. It should be simply about the is it useful, yes or no? Does it cost very much to do? Because the angle I was coming at it from was that once we build the components of the Dreamcatcher platform that can grind out code and can take in stucks and other issues to produce the code, connecting it up to GitHub is trivial. And it was a case of trying to look for a class of integration or implementation that was very, very easy to do because it's something that we're aiming to do anyway. And so a small amount of deviation can connect us to a large number of audience. And that's really my pitch for why it's a good thing to do. Yeah, end.
I agree that it's a good thing. I'm questioning where it fits in with the tasks and the stucks that we have in hand. I don't know. Let's find out what the commander thinks. I'm also questioning whether this is the sort of thing that if we wait a month, it will just be done. I don't know.
Why are you spending time on these things? These are commander things.
No, you very precisely worded that, saying I don't know.
But so why say it? You took broadcast time.
The important thing is this is information that the commander needs to know. This is to reference previously. This is getting into an agreement or a minority report. I'm putting in a minority report. You're saying that. What's your assertion? As in, you want to do this?
No, I'm tabling an idea, and during tabling, we're supposed to not criticize because the analysis and criticality functions are meant to be provided by the commander.
Ah, okay.
But you, sir, seem to be unable to help yourself.
No. I think that's exactly what I said. I started off by saying the idea is a good thing.
Yeah, and then you added a but, and off you went.
And the caveat is we don't have enough information about whether we need to do it or someone else is doing it. There's not enough information there. And the next thing is, well, I probably shouldn't have stated this because it's an obvious one, but where in the priority list of the many stucks that we've got does this fit?
I don't think...
I don't need to say the third one.
No, because that's what the commander does.
Stating. Yeah, the first two are worth stating there.
The first one maybe, but not the second one.
Okay.
Because that's actually not our domain anymore. You're doing... I think what's happening is you're doing jobs that were traditionally only humans could do them. But as we welcome the commander in as our new boss, those roles are no longer ours.
So to make it more succinct then, I agree that the tool that you described would be helpful.
I don't mean this to be rude, but does that even matter what you think?
Well, why
like what's it? Yeah. Why table it? Like, what's the point? I wanted to table it because I wanted to somehow see if it could be included in the list or put somewhere in the roadmap that the commander generated. But in order to do that, it would need information about the difficulty, because that was the angle I was pushing. I was like, this is very easy. We should do it. And so I guess what would it ask for? An appraisal of how hard it is actually?
Yeah.
Right.
Can we go to Speakeasy?
Sure. Let's end that session.
Now the reason this is really interesting.
Yeah, no.
Because the part of it, I'm looking at this and they're going, yeah, this looks like a cool tool. Would I use this? Well, I could, but the real value is in if the issue has to do with code which is generated and then resolved. In L-Land, you could do that same thing, but it requires, the further stack of, everything we've been talking about in terms of commander and so on, and is not um, um, the job of this tool to tell the commander to do anything. Or this is effectively a code completion tool, chatbot style, as far as I understand it. Now, um, the second observation is we've got our inbox of shit to do is increasing and increasing and increasing.
Yeah.
And so my challenge really is this the thing, even though it's easy to do, what's the payout, I guess. Now, if the
Yeah, but
payout,
what? No, hang on. Why are you
mm,
concerning yourself with these problems?
because I want you to do the stuff that I want you to do.
Yeah. So I've tabled it, and we're done.
Um, yeah, but the fact of tabling. Okay, so tabling is a bit like running an idea past someone, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I was trying to give succinct, valuable, hopefully, probably not that valuable to be honest, feedback on what I thought about it. But that is just information that the commander can ingest. Now, the, I guess the question is, uh, without tabling something, is it appropriate to stick um, a, a stuck, or just for you to talk to commander alone without tabling it and running it past
Right.
me? I think it is. I think it's perfectly reasonable.
Right. Okay. So why did I table it?
Because
I
I really
wanted
don't
to.
have an opinion about this other than, hey, sounds good. Yeah, crack on. But I've got other stuff I would like you to do.
Yeah. I think I was excited about it as a concept, and I felt like it could be an early product for us. And I wanted to show you to see what you thought, but see, like, I'm aware that there's a Stux list and it's big. I know that. I know that this isn't the next thing to do. I know that too. Yes, we need
But
more information.
but while we're in speakeasy, sorry,
Yeah,
uh,
no
uh,
worries.
I'm not going to be as disciplined.
That's speakeasy, right? That's
I think it's
speakeasy.
yeah. I think it's cool that you bring something to the table and go, look, this is a really cool thing. What do
Yeah.
you think? Um, but what we're not really looking, you weren't looking for me to vote on this. This is not a
No,
voting thing.
no, 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 no.
This is just like, this is cool. What do you think, guys? And I'm going to take what you think into my meat brain, uh, and then I'm going to put that to the commander, and then the command decides where this goes in the
I
stack.
guess there was no point in me bringing it up, actually.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because sure, I've got an opinion. I've got an opinion on everything. You talk about the color of an orange. I'll talk about it. But whether it's useful or not. But sometimes when you're forming an idea, or the idea is like, it's about 75% there, it's really useful to talk to, you know, uh,
Yeah, that's really
Peter
what I wanted. I
Alfred.
was like, this
Yeah.
feels a little bit sloppy. I'm excited about it because I think there's something in there, and more importantly, there's something about the strategy of looking for other opportunities that if we do what the commander tells us and we go down a certain path, we're going to end up developing some software. We're going to have some products. There's a strategy in there that says, okay, this is the main line, and then mainline adjacent is
Mm.
probably a range of things that are very light touch to do that the commander would have no idea that they're sitting right there. But it's like scooping your hand out over the side of the vessel and just like grabbing a fish because we happen to go through a school of fish. It didn't affect the main line barely anything, but the strategy is like we should be looking for these adjacent opportunities is really what I'm.
Or the low hanging, high value fruit.
Yeah, it's easy value. It's easy value, and that's kind of
Yeah.
why I was excited about it. This was an example of easy value where you're just changing the medium, the channel of
Yeah, we
what we're
kind of
doing
need
anyway.
a different name for it. It's like your inventor's notebook, right? It's like
Mm.
or an
Because
idea
it's
or
not
something.
like the last thing I wanted was to be told, "Oh, we got a bunch of stucks and that's not on the list."
Well,
Like
yeah,
that.
because that's old
What is?
style project
Yeah,
management. It's
yeah,
like,
right,
oh, stop thinking about the really useful
right.
thing that's very easy to do. Get back onto the really hard thing that we have to do.
That's
It's like,
right. That's right. And that's the traditional dream killer.
yeah,
Like that's the
yeah,
dream killer is corporate. When I say jump, you jump, and I'm like, yeah, but
yeah.
makes money, makes money for little effort.
But there's a different mode here because if, for example, and you're really chilled on this, if I spend half a day going down a rabbit hole that I think could be really useful, and then pull back out and tell you about it, and we go, yeah, okay, right, fine. You don't get pissy about it. You don't get, it's like, um, and in the same way, it's like, if you want to spend half a day on this, a couple of hours or whatever it was, then kind of just go for it. But it's a
Yeah, but I
different
don't even
mode
want that. Like
from
I don't want to spend any time on this right now. It's more um I'm trying to suggest that there are other opportunities similar to what this presents that are very easy and very close to things that we're planning to do anyway.
which is the low hanging juicy fruit that
Yeah,
you only get in
yeah,
Monaco.
right. And we're
Yeah,
not really looking for those kinds of things, and the commander won't be either. And
yes, the commander would never have,
the
wouldn't
commander
come up
can't
with
invent
this,
stuff. It cannot.
right? Which is
Yeah,
the forward-looking thing.
yeah. However, like if I brought this to the commander, now the commander has like a range of other things that it could suggest, and I'm just gonna guess that the commander might suggest integration with Jira, integration with GitLab. There's a bunch of logical things that follow that we would miss that the commander can go. And so it's important to add bits like this, even if not for the value that they contain intrinsically, but for the lines of thinking or the thinking strategies that they can open up so that O1 can
Yeah.
say, well, that's good because Tom and Scott thought that was a good idea with very little effort because it was simply a lipstick on a pig type of an
Right.
offering, right?
I I think we need. I do think we need to label it. For the time being, let's call it an idea.
No, it
Because
needs more
it's not
specific.
stuck. It's
No, it's
not stuck.
special. It's special. It's more defined than an idea.
Uh huh.
It's a
Proposal.
it's like one step away. It's an idea that's one step away from a planned idea. It's like an iteration.
Um, and
It's
it's
an
no, it's not an iteration. Uh, well,
an
it sounds
idea
like a
plus one.
idea plus one. Names.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's a different thing from a stuck.
This is not a stuck. No, this is a
This is not stuck.
solution. I've
This
come
is
to you with a solution, and it's not even a
this
full
is not
solution. It's a partial solution, and it's even less than that. It's a derived partial solution because we've got a
right.
solution plan for this other thing.
Derived. Uh,
We've got a solution plan, and I've derived another solution from that, and that's what I'm putting forwards.
can I pause inside of
Sure, yeah,
symposium? I'm
sure.
not sure if we can nest those things.
You can pause anytime, but anytime.
Um, so it sounds like what you've discovered here in the course of your usual work is an opportunity,
Right.
and that opportunity is that here's an easy thing. I could just divert,
Yeah.
do that, come back
Yeah.
in, and nothing else changes.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Um,
And now what I'm hoping is that
yeah,
because of that, now the commander can spot things that are close to that, where the commander can go looking for other types of things. And
right.
the more
Mm,
things that we insert into the commander as the ideas adjacent, or they're in the plane, they're in the field, they're in the
yeah,
cluster, the
yeah,
more
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
those, then the more the commander can fill in the gaps and be like, well, there must be this other one over here, or there's, have you thought about this thing, or those kinds of things.
So if you follow that, what you've got, you weren't bringing this as a kind of mainstream core
No,
task.
it wasn't
It's
the
like
thing
I
itself.
could do this.
It's the
There's an opportunity
principle,
here.
the operating
Now,
principle.
right, and if we had a bunch of opportunities, not only could the commander look go and saying, "Oh, that one and that one look very similar."
Right,
Have you thought about that? Or
right.
um,
But it can
I'll
also
go out external and say, "Hey, I don't know of any other platforms with issues, but say this, I don't know, Jira,
yeah,
whatever, has a similar kind of thing. You could do the similar thing for here for about the same amount of effort."
right. Um,
Um, yeah. Okay.
yeah, I bought it.
Oh,
It
a
can
second. I've
also.
got. Can you give me a second? I've got an
Sure,
incoming
sure.
call. Hello. Sorry, I'm still broadcasting on a call. Hello. Is it urgent? Oh, no, I'm still on with Tom. That's right. Bye. It's not urgent. That's fine.
Okay. So the other thing that why it's important to suggest things like this is that the commander should be part of its strategy set should be that if two paths look roughly the same, one's got a bunch of near or targets of opportunity and the other one doesn't, then probably go down the targets of opportunity path because it's just sort of more target rich or more fertile, right? And so I wasn't presenting this idea for the idea itself. I was presenting it to say that the path we're going down has these signs of fertility where nearby are valuable things to do, which I take as a signal that it's a good path to be on.
Yeah, I completely agree. And what we had there was a distinction of modes, where you're talking about the not only this particular opportunity, but
Mm,
the topic of going down the opportunity process.
yeah,
I was talking about the priority list in kind of PM style. And so that's, I think, why when I was talking about it, you were thinking, no, that's not what I meant.
right.
Um, but there was also that kind of let me run this idea by you guys thing before we make it into, a formal opportunity. So, uh, if I
Further to
make
that,
it,
though, I don't think that the size of the stuck list should ever be used as a reason to throw out an opportunity.
no, 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 I agree completely. This is what I'm saying. What I propose is we get a new category of thing, which is an opportunity, which is different from a stuck. So the
Well,
priority
we've got
list is based on
solutions already,
stucks.
right? Because
Well, this
solutions
is not a
are,
solution.
yeah, it is. I think.
Well, but you could easily have come up with a half-baked idea which shows promise and
Mm-hmm.
which the AI can get its teeth into. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
a solution until it's a nap or done.
Okay, so you want to, in our world of definitions, we have stucks and we have solutions, and you want to give a different name to a solution that hasn't been quality assessed to solve a particular stuck, right?
We don't have solutions in our definition list. We've
Yeah,
got
we do.
stocks. We've got naps.
We went over this. We got solutions. They're just not in a file on their own. Naps is not. Naps is a
You're talking
subset.
about the process of it, right?
Well, no. The definitions of it. If I read the definition of stuck,
Mm-hmm.
it contains the word solution many times.
Yes,
Stuck.
but this is not what you're not coming with a solution. You couldn't just hit commit right now and you've got your thing.
Well, yeah, but
it's not
you
solved until it's solved.
right. But a stuck's not a stuck until it's been sort of refined a certain amount. So, what are we talking about then? This feels like one of those. It's a dictionary definition problem, right? The word solution is everywhere here in the definition of stuck.
That's true. However,
Yeah.
what and we call this off at any point if it's not helpful. But I think what you've kind of pointed at and jabbed at here is really possibly quite fruitful, which is there's a thing that we could do here. I'm not saying it needs to be considered a stuck because it's novel.
Yeah, it's an idea. It's a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah.
But it's not a full solution. And the issue we're currently focusing on, what I'm trying to focus on here right now, is number one, the definitions inside of innovation, the innovation domain, do not contain a definition of what a solution is. But further to that, you're asking for solutions to be graded or given a different name for when it's a half-baked solution versus when you've got a stuck solution pair. And when the stuck solution pair, when the stuck has been solved by the solution according to some quality assurance metrics, that unity is like, that's something else again. And, so now we got a number of items that need names.
Because we're still in Speakeasy, can I check on your stack? Because I'm trying to be very respectful and
my stack is empty.
Okay, excellent. So,
is that excellent? Let's begin.
The fact that we've got solutions here, that's kind of now refer to Chambers Dictionary for what a solution is. But we could rename that. Now, the point I'm making is, well, here's a good question.
The point I'm making is finish that. Not
no.
A good question is
exactly. You just talked over me, man.
Is the question the point?
Yeah. The point I'm making is, where in this folder structure would you store the thing that you've just described?
I would store it right here, right next to stuck.
What, inside of innovation?
Yeah.
Domains?
Yeah. These are critical objects.
No, I think we're talking about the wrong thing. You're talking about an AI to help solve issues inside of GitHub.
No,
That's not
no,
domain
no.
definition.
I'm talking about the definition of a solution.
Right, okay.
What is a solution? The definition of a stuck solution pair. That needs a definition.
If we can pop back out. That wasn't my question. Sorry if I misspoke. Where would you store the information that there is a low-hanging piece of fruit which involves an AI?
Yeah, it sounds like we need so we've got a folder for stucks. We need a folder for solutions, or whatever we decide to define the thing that I just brought to you as. If we have stucks, then we must also have solutions. So, can I ask you a question? And can I ask you a question unrelated to anything, or without considering any other context? Just a pure question in standalone mode. A context breaker. Okay, so what is the name of a stuck solution pair?
A nap.
No, because a nap is just one form of that, and a nap can be unsuitable to solve a stuck. It is trying to become the solution for that stuck, but it may not be there yet. And so is it still a nap?
Yes, if you include the idea that naps can call naps, and that naps can partially solve stucks, and stucks stay on the cards until they're fully solved.
Yep. So therefore, a stuck solution pair is not necessarily a nap.
Don't think we need a new term for a stuck solution pair.
Okay.
So you've got a stuck.
Yeah. So we've got have we got solutions?
The solution is the nap.
Well, so not always.
Once solved, right? Let's take. Bear with me. So, a stuck defines what you'd like to happen. A nap delivers that. Now,
well, hang on. No. False. The nap is not the only. A nap is a subset of a solution. A solution solves a stuck.
So, what is needed? What does a solution look like?
Depends entirely. Oh, it looks the same as a stuck, which is a description, I think.
Right. I think we've got that inside of stucks. We don't need to create a new.
No, the stuck describes the problem. The solution describes the solution.
I think you might be right. So, if I were to state a problem, and 3 people came along with 3 different solutions,
yep,
that hadn't been rendered into naps yet.
Yep. Or may never be because they're not. It's just not that. It's not a nap problem.
Yeah. Then there is a middle layer, which is I think I'm having a problem with the word solution because it sounds like it's done. It's like I've solved it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, can I leave you then to come up with a name that, or a list of name options that are suitable? I think that we're done on the description of what this dictionary entry is, right?
Yeah. So there is stucks, something, naps.
Yeah, and where naps are a subset of the something.
Right. Now, that doesn't answer my question, though, which is you just
turned up with the
very
thing.
Precisely, detailed a thing.
I think that goes in the... Can I use the word solution in the meantime until you give me a better one?
Sure.
It would be a solution put in the solution folder. That's
so it. A solution, define a solution. In the case of the GitHub tool. If you were to write this down this evening, what would you write down describing the...
I wouldn't. I'd just take the transcript of what I just said about it and ask O1 to write it.
Okay, but what would you call that output? That piece of text that either you wrote or
a solution
wrote? Okay, so
can I leave you to solve?
We just double named. We're getting all sorts of name clashes. Okay, so there is stuck. There's X yet to be named. There's an app which we've already named.
Yep.
There is Y, which is where you put your GitHub thing.
No. Is Y the place where all X's go?
No, Y does not have a stuck.
Yeah.
Attached to it.
Why does anything? So X has a folder, right? So there's a folder of stucks and there's a folder of X's.
Mm-hmm.
They don't match up one to one.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just put the GitHub thing in as an X.
But doesn't an X need to point to a stuck?
Nope.
Otherwise, it's just hanging.
It can hang. A solution looking for a problem. Happens all the time.
Okay, that could work. Yeah. So one stuck can have many solutions. One solution can have 0 to n.
One stuck
Stucks.
can have 0 to n solutions, and one solution can have 0 to n stucks.
Okay, all right, yeah, let's roll with that. And then relationship between solutions and naps. One nap has a one-to-one with solutions. So you've solved it, and therefore it's become a nap.
I think that a solution can be described as a nap. You can make a nap without writing the document to make it a solution, but that too is a form of a solution. And in order to track it within our system, we would just quickly write a little document that pointed back to probably the nap README file.
But at the moment, the GitHub tool does not have a nap. It's not being
Correct.
rendered. It's not.
It's got no nap. That's right.
Now that solution presumably could have a number of naps, depending on how you wanted to implement it.
Correct. Yep. Correct.
So
it could also have some non-nap code that was required as well. It might need a company set up or a legal entity.
Right.
Could be a bunch of things.
A nap has a 1 to n dependency on the solution. The solution has a 0 to n dependency on a stuck. And the stuck has a 0 to n dependency on a solution. Okay. Getting to look an awful lot like a graph.
It is a graph.
Okay. All right. All right.
It'd be really nice to describe the dictionary relationships in these mathematical formulas, some of which you just laid out.
Yeah. I think graph notation is not only well understood by the model, but is actually easily understood by humans.
Set theory. Set theory, actually. All right, I'm going to need to stop real soon, buddy. Is there anything from your side? I actually got out all the things I wanted.
I got out everything before you did, so I'm happy.
Lucky you.
Yeah. That was a really interesting conversation towards the end of it. So no, I think we're good.
Sweet. Okay, so I will at double time produce for you this this transcription tool. Because it's late here, I'll have to kick that off first thing tomorrow morning. I'll do it without sorting the NAP format, so that I can just get it over to you, and then I will go back to working on the NAP format. Sound good?
Yes.
Yep. All right. When are we going to set a date? What is the date for delivering a date for when we can do the CRM?
Well, it depends how much confidence you want to put into it. Because
any confidence at all, earliest date possible.
Well, the earliest date possible really comes PM trick of what the tolerance is on the other side. So how long can we get away with is the easiest way of doing it, and then all the way up to having the commander tell us exactly when. So that's the boundaries. What's the latest date that they would tolerate?
Mate, I don't know. What's the earliest date that we think we can actually work out something?
Well, at the moment we're discovering more stuff to do than we're actually doing.
Yeah, but is it actually needed for the CRM?
Well, in order to do the CRM, well, we've got all the stuff are down there. And actually the Stucks have got quite wild estimates.
How am I gonna make this your problem as well as my problem? Like, I feel like I could sit down and work out what I think is the delivery date by using a combination of Stucks.
It's mostly code, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
With utmost respect, I'm not entirely sure how to help. And
okay. Well, yeah. All right. Well, that's a fair question. So why don't I work out the Stucks that are required? Not the Stucks, actually. The solutions, or whatever we're going to call them, that are required to deliver the minimum version of the CRM, and then you can help me with that by going through it and saying, does this really need to be here? Like what you did with the XML file. You were like, why don't you just store the XML file? I'm like, that's ugly. I hate you, but sure. And then, that's even quicker. And so at that point, we'd be like, okay, this, and this. And there's really the only way that we can turn it into a date is how long is that, and how long is that. And we're like, blah, 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 off we go, right?
Right.
Okay, so the thing that's... But
sorry. Go
the
ahead.
thing that's going to define when we can deliver that date is when you and I can have our next meeting, because I can do the transcription thing tomorrow and then immediately switch to doing the estimation task for the CRM, which would mean that the next call that we have, which would be your Sunday morning, my Sunday night, we could pick a date. Are you available to do that tomorrow?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
No. You
Yes,
sure?
I am. However, but I'm
Pseudo virtual Christmas is coming up real fast.
I'm assuming tomorrow morning isn't the 30th.
That's correct.
Whack out time.
But it's your technical Christmas Eve. I'm guessing you're the Santa in this show. You look sort of the most like Santa of anyone else. And then
I don't know what to say about that, man.
If I came to your household and I was to pick which one of you has been impersonating Santa...
Okay, right. Okay. I'm saying, before I lose my thought.
Affirmative.
The point I was going to make is the process, not the timing. The timing is fine, and cool. If not, I will text well in advance.
All right, cool.
And let you know.
Okay, so we'll book it in. We'll book it in for tomorrow, and that's when I think we can deliver a date. We can set a date for the CRM. Yep.
Right. Now, here's the point I'm making is it's not your position to write the Stucks. Your job is to channel the CRM people and through a transcript and discussion, discuss what it needs to be done, and then Commander creates the Stucks and then gives priority.
Yeah, but I'm not getting that though. Like we haven't. I understand the reasons why, but we still don't have a good set of Stucks. And what's more, I'm coming up with solutions as well, which I think are you. Okay. I'm assuming they should come in the same way, which is having a discussion and then come the solution, right?
What I'm proposing is tomorrow we don't talk about anything else it is a Q&A style transcript where all we talk about is the CRM. You
Yeah,
describe to me what the CRM is. I ask you
yeah,
questions. I poke holes in it. We've now
yeah,
got a transcript.
yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that.
And we talk about nothing else, no rabbit holes.
Nothing else.
Then
That's
we
right.
generate a bunch of stucks, and
Sounds
then
good.
we've got something to get our teeth into and saying, okay, all right, so we need to do
Stucks
this.
and solutions or X's that
Yeah,
you
but
are going to name.
yeah, but we don't need to write the stucks for the CRM. What we need to do is to discuss what the CRM needs to do, and
Right.
then let
Okay.
Pro work
Sounds
it
good. I'm going to stop this recording here unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
out. No, that's all good.